Hey YouTube, fellow resin addicts. I'm just here to show you a quick little how-to on how to fix your resin pieces. When you think all is lost, disaster is struck, stop the world for a minute. I had an incident happen with my piece where my sticker had shifted and I had glitter and resin in front of my sticker, which I did not want. So basically, I'm just going to show you how I corrected that mistake. I'm mixing my resin. It's a 50-50 ratio. You want to make sure you get the 50-50 because if you don't, you run the risk of soft pieces or sticky spots in your final piece, which then in that case, I believe disaster has struck. In the case of a flexible piece, you can probably try mixing the correct ratios and then doming it. That may work, but I don't know. It's worth a shot though. Here I'm mixing my resin. You want to make sure you scrape the sides, scrape the bottom to be sure that everything is incorporated. I mix mine slow till it runs clear. The slower you mix, the less air bubbles you have. Keep that in mind. Don't stir too fast. You want to let in as little air as possible. I do have bubbles, but it's fine because they can be blown out later, or as the resin sets up, it will degas itself. So basically, I am going to take my star and I'm going to take the sticker that I had inside the star and I'm going to place it on top. I don't know if you could tell from that angle that there was glitter all in front of that sticker, but I'm going to place this sticker in the same exact spot on the star. Make sure it's down. Make sure it's on there. I'm going to use my stir stick only because it helps me to better control the resin and exactly where I want it to go. It will do it on its own, but if I can help it along, I'm going to. I'm not a fan of spillover. I use my stir stick and I pull from the middle. I usually pour a little puddle in the middle and then I'll use my stir stick and pull it outward toward the ends. You don't need to have your stir stick completely in the resin. If you put your stir stick to the resin and you see this little string of resin connected from your piece to the stick, that's where you want it. You don't want your stick to be completely in the resin. Well, at least I don't. I'm trying to minimize spillover, so I use as light a touch as possible. I'm sort of helping it along the edges here. I'm usually right on my piece, but for the sake of the video, I tried to stay back some, but I'm trying to do this at a further distance than what I usually do. I usually get right down on my piece. You see I had a little spillage right there, that top right hand corner of that star, or I'm sorry, left hand corner of the star. But that's fine. I have it on a sketch pad that I have, but it has a plastic film over it, which is perfect for this because when the resin cures, you can just lift the entire thing off and it's not gonna rip the plastic, it's not gonna stick, it comes right up. And here I'm doing the same thing with a cupcake piece of mine that I had. My sticker shifted some, so the top sat a lot closer to the front of the piece than the base of the cupcake did. So I'm basically just going to do the same thing I did with the star. There's a puddle of resin in the middle. I'm going to use the stick because I have a wider surface. I did put the stick on its side, but you still want to use as gentle a touch as possible. Helping it along the edges of this piece. This is a Wilton Daisy mold. that was from Michaels. I paid $9.99 for that mold. I probably could have gotten it cheaper. I had a coupon at the time, but I'm a big fan of using my 40% off for something a little more worth it, like the resin. Resin isn't cheap, so the coupon helps out a lot. But I'm going to finish doming this piece, and I'm going to remove the air bubbles. I'm just going to blow them out because I left my straw in the house. I usually have a straw that I keep with me when I'm working, but I left it inside. So I'm just going to just exhale over the pieces and all the bubbles will pop. And then I'm going to set them up in my curing box that I have outside. And I'll show you the pieces once they're finished. Thank you for watching.
Of hot and cold food and a full bar. I had dinner with Neil Archer Rohn on Thursday and Saturday nights, and I found his ideas about pipes to be interesting and thought-provoking. Neil was prescient in discovering young American pipe makers, such as Adam Davis, who was 28 and very talented. At one of our dinners, there was another young and brilliant pipe maker, named Todd Johnson, who recently turned 30. Also at that dinner was a successful Blu-ray pipe seller, Rob Cooper of Cooper's Own, energetic Canadian collector Norm Steinbach, originally from Russia, and Jeff Grayson. What is so interesting about Todd Johnson and Jeff Grayson is that they both earned master's degrees in theology, Todd at Yale and Jeff at Princeton. Our discussion was wide-ranging and fascinating, covering topics like pricing strategies for pipe makers and pipe sellers, marketing techniques, what constitutes plagiarism in pipe making.